Okay, so that's our beginning for 21st Century Schizoid Man by King Crimson. We're going to start out, think of this C minor shape over here. We're going to use that 5 on the D, and then 5 and 4 going down there. And then we're going to the B flat over here, 3, 3, 3, back into the C minor shape there. So we got, we're going to go to that 3, 4 right down there, 3 on the G, 4 on the B, to the 5 and 6, and then we're going to come back to the C minor shape. So we got, and then big F power chord, F sharp, G, back into the riff. See how we went to that 3, 4 right there? So C minor, B flat, C minor, that little piece of a chord there, 3 and 4. So bump, bump, 5 and 6, back to that C minor top. You can even hit that little 3 down there on that one. So it's. Okay, now this third one's going to have some unison bends at the end of it. Okay, then we're into the verse. So that was little 13, and I'm bending the 16 on the second string, bending into that same note. That's what a unison bend is when you bend from like a lower note into the higher note that you're also holding. And then we go up 1 fret, so it's 14, 17, and then one more, 15, 18. Okay, so that last time you'd be like. Now on the verse, we're going to hit this chord here. It's 5, 5, 4. It's like a C minor 7 without the C bass. So 5 on the D, and then 5, and then 4, and then 6 with the pinky down there. We're going to actually hit this 12 times. So it's like 1, and these are staccato hits, so you stop them right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, second bar, third bar, and then we're going to hit a B flat chord. 8 on the D, 7 and 6, 6 going down. Okay, so verse 3, 4. Okay, then we're back into the main riff. And then that third one again with the unison bends. And then we do another verse just like that with the. So you got 3 bars of that. Each one of those is on a new quarter note. And then you end with the B flat chord. And then we got our main riff again. Now we're going to get into a thing where we're going to take this slow power chords thing, start speeding up a little bit. And then the last two are like bong, 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 bong. Okay, so it ends up speeding up like about 4 times, but the last one has like 2 sets kind of quick in a row. And then we're going to be into this part called mirrors. It's. Okay, so let's get into that. So we got 3, 3, C note on the A string there. Da-dum, dum, dum, and then 1, 2, 3 on the D. So it's. Second part starts the same. But we stay on the 2, 1 on the A string, down to that 3 on the E string. So. And then we're going to come up here 4, 5 on the D, 3 on the G. So it's. And then 5 to 3 and 4 on the G down there. So. Okay, so. And then we're going to go to the octave of that C. So 5s with 4, 5, 6 on the B. So 4, 3, 5. And then we're going to go 7, 8, 6. 8, 6, 7. So it's the same type of stuff in a higher octave. So. Okay, then we go back down to the beginning. Now instead of these slow ones, this time we're gonna go. So triplets, 4, 5 to 3 on the G there. We do 4 sets of that. Back to the octave. And then once again, we're gonna do 4 sets real fast. So that's 7, 8 to little 6. Okay, then we're moving on to a new part. This is gonna be called 3 score and 4. So we got. So there is a pause before this, so it's like 1, dum, 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 dum. So watch out for that pause there. But it's gonna be little 6, 6, 8 on the B, 3 times, and then that 6 on the B, to 8 to 5 on the G string. So. So we do that one twice, and we come up here to the 8 over here on the B. So that's 8 to 8, 10 on the G, 3 times. And we go back to that 6, 8 to 5. Okay, so it's boom. And then we're gonna go back to the 6 and 6, 8 thing 3 more times. So. Okay, now at that point, we're into the crazy guitar solo. We're not gonna do the solo in this lesson. We're gonna keep on moving. After the solo, we get back into that 3 score and 4 thing, so we won't worry about that. We just did that one. Now let's look at the breakdown. This is some new riffs. Here we got. Okay, so real fast, it's like. Okay, so it's some crazy stuff. Let's take it nice and slow. We got 3 to 6, 3, 4, 5. 3 on the D, back to 4, 5 over here, so. And then 3, 5, 3, 6 on the G, so. And then we're gonna do a triplet, ba-da-dum. So pull off 5, 3, down to that 5 there. 2 more notes in this measure, so it's, and these are 16th notes mostly. Now the next measure, 3, 3 on the B, pull off 6, 3, 6 on the G, little 3, so. Now we're gonna do that riff again. But it's gonna be followed by ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So that's 6, 5 on the G, 8, 5 on the D, 8, 5 on the A. Okay, and then we're gonna move into part B here. We got. Okay, so this is part B. We got 8 on the big one, 8, 7, 8, 5, 8 to the D there. And then we got 5 on the D to 7 on the G, 5, 5, 5, 8, both on the D, and then 5 to 5 again, 5 to 7, and then 5, 8, 5, 9, 8, 6. Okay, so it's. And then we're back into part A. Now we have a little pause there. We're going to go. So that's 6, 7 on the G to 6 on the B. 2 times, and then we're gonna go. This is 6 to 7 to 6, and then 7, 6, 5 going down that G string. So it's. And then we're gonna have 6, 7 on the G, 6, 8 over here on the B, and then pull off, pull off, pull off like we had before. 6, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5. So this part B is. this riff again. And then a little 6 on the big string there, down into a new riff. This is kind of one of the last new riffs we're gonna hit. Okay, so this is 3, 6, 3, 5, 3, and then we're gonna go in the A string down to the D. 5, 7, 5, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, 3, and then you got your 5, 4, 3 to big 6 there. You want to do that riff twice, so. Okay, then we're back to the B riff. Back to the A riff. Okay, then we have the C riff. Okay. Kind of hit a 3 there after that little 6 slide. And then that mirrors part comes in again. And then we come back and hit it again with those faster riffs. Now this time we're going to do 4 bars of this. So it's, that's 1 bar. We're going to go 2, 3, 4. And when that's over, guess what? Okay, and it does the whole thing with the, you got another verse, all that kind of stuff. This is plenty to get you started on 21st Century Schizoid Man by King Crimson. So we're going to start out with this first sequence, and then I'll break it down for you. So we got. Okay, so that's our little intro going on there. We got 998. That's on the D string going down to the B string. 998 to 778. And then we have 776 to 556. So these are repeating shapes here. And then we have 11 11 10 to 9 9 10. And then we're back to the 998 to 778. And then we have a little hammer on here. So that's 8 and 6, hammering into the 8 of the first string. And then that's 7 8 on those next 2 strings. And then we have ahead of the beat, we have an upbeat on the 4 and of that E7 sharp 9 there. So we got. Okay, and then we're into kind of the groove that becomes the verse and stuff. Think about this, you got, this is your recurring shape. Well, first it happens where you got these 2 fingers on the 9. And then it's just down 2 from there. And then it's up 2 from where you started, back to your original one. And then you got your. Okay, then we're gonna settle into, we got a G6 chord here. So we have the G bass, and we're going to mute the A string, 5, 4, 5, and these next 3, mute the little E string. So we're going to have a basic strum through the whole song is da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. So it's like 1 and 3 and. Okay, so we're going to have G6 to F6, and then our next chord is going to be a G chord with an A bass. So we'll get to that when we get to that. So here we go, 2, 3, and F6. Now our G to A is we're going to have with the pinky down here, 5, 4, 3 of a G chord with an A bass up here. And we're still muting the A and the E there. So we got. So that one splits a measure. back to that F6. Then the F6 is going to have its own measure. So let's look at that. 2, 3, and. That was its whole measure. And then you got the same thing. Now this time, G with the A bass to D9. Okay, and that was a half measure plus a whole measure again. So that would be. And then the D9 is 5 on the D string, 4, 5, 5, 5. So that would be a ba-dum, da, and then a whole measure of that. Okay, and then we have the F add 9, 8, 7, 5, 8. Now this is an E7 flat 9. So once again, the F add 9 was 8, 7, 5, 8. That 8 down there is the 9, the added 9. And then we have this E7 flat 9. So it's 7 on the A, 6, 7, 6. So you got to bar that like that. So it's. And then there's a couple ways we're going to do A minor 7 in this. I just have it all 5s with that 7 on the A string. Later we're going to do it like this. Without that 5 in the low range there. Kind of more jazzy there. But you can mix it up, and they use definitely different versions of different chords. The same chord, but different versions within this tune too. And in a lot of their tunes. So we got the A minor 7. Now we're going to have the B flat 13. That's 6 up here, nothing on the A, 6, 7, 8 on those next 3. And mute the E too. Okay, then we have our kind of standard E7 here, 7, 6, 7, 5. Now we're going to come down to this B7, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. Because when we bring these two down, we have that B minor 7 flat 5, that half diminished. We're going to go to an E7. And then, like I say, we're going to go to different E7s. We have the E7 after that with the 3 in the second string. And then we have the 2, 1, 3, 3, E7 sharp 9. Okay, so coming from that F add 9, we got E7 flat 9, A minor 7, B flat 13, E7, B7, B minor half diminished, E7, different E7, E7 sharp 9. Okay, so that is verse 1. Then we're into verse 2. It's going to be kind of the same, basically all the same, but just a few changes, you know. So we're going to have the G6 again, 3, 4, F6, G with A bass to F6, whole measure for F6, G6, F6. Now our G to A. We're going to an A9 this time. So we got big 5 and then 5, 4, 5 on the D down to B. So that's G with A bass, splitting the measure with this A9, and then a whole measure of A9. And then we're back to our F add 9, E7 flat 9, A minor 7. Now this time we're going G minor 7, C9, splitting the measure. So that's big 3, mute, and then 3, 3, 3. You could do it that way, but it kind of helps this way going right into that C7, 9 chord. So it's now we're going F major 7. Now we have a new one, E minor 7 sharp 5, 7, 10. So I got to get my pinky over here in the 10th fret of the D string. 7, 10, 7, 8, E minor 7 sharp 5. Then we have a D9. And then we have F with a G bass. So they bring in a brand new one right before the chorus there. So verse 2 once again. Now this time the G with the A goes to A9. Got our F, E7 flat, A minor 7. Now we got G minor 7, C9, F major 7. Got that E minor 7, sharp 5, D9, F with the G bass. Okay, now we're on the chorus. We got A minor 7. We got E minor 7. 7, 9, 7, 8, 7. down 2 frets, same shape, D minor 7. Now we got C major 7, 3, 5, 4, 5, 3. Take that down to B flat major 7. Now we're gonna go E minor 7 to G6, split in a measure. Now we go. We got those last 4 awesome chords. We got an F sharp 7 flat 5, that's 2, mute the A, 2, 3, 1. This is an F major 7, 3, 5, 5, 5. So we got, and then on the upbeat, we got that E minor 7 with the sharp 5 again. And on an upbeat, we got that F add 9 again. And then we're gonna go through that chorus again. Down to C major 7, down to B flat major 7. Now we go A minor 7, E minor 7, and then we have the turnaround chords starting on the 11, 11, 10. And then down to, and then the chord here goes E flat major 7 to E7 sharp 9. There's a little fill there, you can go. So that's like 6s to 8s, kind of sliding down there. And then, and that one is actually on the downbeat, that E7 raised 9. So the chords right after that chorus. We got the turnaround. Okay, and then you're back into verse 1. So I'm not going to go all the way through verse 1 again. You can follow that through. It goes to verse 2 after that. And then the chorus is going to happen twice. The chorus is kind of new. Let's look at the chorus again. 2, 3, and. It repeats itself. B flat, A minor to G, hits, and then you got these chords again. We got our turnaround. Now the fill, this one goes, so you got 5 and 6 into 7 and 8. And that would be over that. See how those notes are in that E flat major 7? By themselves, they sound kind of like a power chord thing, but as part of that E flat major 7, you can see they add a different kind of texture. Now this next one, you kind of wait a minute and then you go. So you got 8s to 10s, 10s to 8s. That goes right into the bridge. This is like the saxophone solo. So we're gonna have C major 7 here. 3, 5, 4, 5, 3. E minor 7. Now we have the A13, which is 5 with 5, 6, 7. Now we have D7 sharp 9, 5, 4, 5, 6. Then G13, you get used to these 13s after a while, right? Now we're gonna go to the B7 sharp 9 here, 2, 1, 2, 3. So let's look at those so far. We got C major 7 to E minor 7, 2, 3, and. A13. D raised 9, G13, B raised 9, E minor 7, A9, which was that 5 with 5, 4, 5, and then we got. So the chords here we have is 3, 5, 5, 5, that's F major 7, to an F sharp raised 9, 4, 3, 5, 5, and then a G major 7, 5 with 7s. Now we have this chord 7, and then nothing on the D, and then 7, 8, 8. Okay, so it's. Then we're back to bridge. E minor 7, A13 coming up. D raised 9, G13, B raised 9, E minor 7, A9. We got these chords again. This one's gonna have a different one. So this is like a B augmented with a flat 9 kind of thing. So 2, 1, 0, 1, kind of a weird one there. And then we're going to get back to the intro chords. We got that E flat major 7, E7 sharp 9. And then at that point you're in verse 2 again. Then you do the chorus again twice. And then you do verse 1. So let's do the verse 1 here on the outro where it's instrumental. So we got 3, 4. Now this one, D9. Then we got the F, E7 flat 9, A minor 7, B flat 13, E7, B7, got those E7s. Okay, then it's gonna go. And then your verse 1 again. And that verse 1 just has the D9 instead of the A9. And it has a few different other chords too. All right, Peaches and Regalia by Frank Zappa off the Hot Rats album. We're going to start out like this. Okay, so what we had is a B bass note, and then we're going to have a D chord down here. And this is a C sharp minor chord, B minor, A, back to the B minor, and then E. So we got 12, 11, 10, 10 for the D. You got 11 and 9s, C sharp minor. You got 9 and 7s for the B minor. You got another A, you got a major shape here, 7, 6, 5, 5. Back to the B minor, to the E, 7, 9, 9, 9. Okay, we do that 4 times, so we got 2, 3, 4. Okay, sometimes I just throw in that, like, you don't need to do that necessarily. And then the next part is going to be. Okay, so that was 9 down here in the D. 6, 7, 9, kind of a slide there, 7 to 9 on the G, so 6 to 7 on the D. And then we're going to go down to the G string. So we have 7, 7, 9, 7. 10, 9 on the D. And that's 10, 9, 7, 10, 10, 7. And then you could add this little riff. That's a little hammer from 8 to 9 on the G. 5 to 6 to go back into it. You could also do this riff down here in the 4, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, but we'll keep it here for now, so let's try that again. 2, 3, and. Okay, then we're gonna get into some chord hits. We're gonna go. Okay, so that's our little section there. So this is a B minor chord. We got 9, 7, 7. That's a B power chord down there. So, and then we're gonna go 4, 2, 1 down here. to the 2s of an A chord. Then we're going to go to this A chord here, 7, 6, 5. So we got, and that was a B minor to a C sharp minor. And then we're going to go, that's a D minor chord, 12, 10, 10. D power chord. Start in the 7, 5, 4 to the 5s, and then C chord, D minor, E minor, F minor, F power chord. Now this one's going to go 10, 8, and 7 to 10, 8, 10. So that's a 10, 8, 8. So go back to the 10, 8, 10. So we got, and this one's going to be like 10, 8, 8, 8. So all those again, we're going to have. Okay, then we're jumping up here to a real high riff. So. So you got your 16, 5 times. 2 each on the like 19, 18, 16. We're gonna go down to 14 also. So we got. And then we're gonna have kind of a rake. And that's 15, 13, 14, 13. Then we have. So that's 16s on the G string, 16 on the B string, using the 17 and the 19, so. And it ends with da 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 dum. And then 16, 14, 13, 13, 11 there. So that whole part again, we got. Okay, then we're into the solo. We got. Okay, here goes the solo, nice and slow so you can see it. And then the next part, that was 4/7 and then 4/7 on the second. And then we could also end with like kind of double notes on those 4s and 7s. And then we get into the fast runs. We're gonna have. Okay, so we got some crazy stuff going on there. We're starting on the 17s of the D and G. We're coming down 17, 15, 14 to that 15 on A. 17, 14, and then we're going to switch to 16 and 17. 14, 16, 15, 14, 14, 17 there, so. And then we're going 15, 15, 14 to that 15, 14 on the D. back up those notes and then switch it down to the 13s. This one's going to end with 15 and 16 coming up. And then our next riff. So that was 15 to little 13 to 16 over here. 15, 13, so 15, 16, 15, 13, 13. So altogether we got 1. So that comes down a little 13 and then 15, 14, 15, 13 to 12 over here. So okay, and then we're gonna have a thing kind of like a. So you kind of slide up from the 10s, kind of real slow, so you hear kind of a chromatic thing. And this is 17 and 18, the 17s, and then to the 15s, and do it again. And then do that slide. You could be doing that down here too, this. I've even done it like. Okay, then we get into another fast one. We're going to start on the A string this time in the 19th fret. Okay, so this one's a bit different. We got 19, 19, 19, 17, 16. To that 17 on top there. So the shapes are kind of the same, how you're switching to major chord there. It's 18, 19, 16, 18, 16, 16, 16, 19 on the second string. So now we're going to go to this 17, 17, and then 19, 19, 19, 18, 19, 19, 19. So then we're going to move that down to 15. Now that we're going to jump to the 20 on those last two. So 15 and then 17s. 20 and 20, and then we're going to go. So we have, you got your 16 to 19 over here. See that? So that's, and then, so the whole thing will be. Okay, then we're gonna have. We're back in the top. So I've also seen things in a guitar magazine. I'm using like a book for this, one of the Frank Zappa books. I'm the Hot Rats book. I'm using What I Remember from a guitar magazine I learned it in a long time ago. And I was also looking on the Songster, just try to kind of find the best kind of mix of them all. But this is also trying to cram a lot of different instruments into just one kind of guitar part. But one thing they had was kind of a, kind of could do the 7s, 9, 9, 12, 12. Kind of like a arpeggio rate kind of on the piano. And I've also seen the bass note switch to E for the outro instead of always that B. So, you know, do what you want with that, but it'd be like. Okay, now we're going to take our main melody up here to the octave of it. So that was 12, 14, 15, little 12, 14, 14. Okay, so this part was. Second time through. And that one you just hold that note. Now we go to the lower octave. And then you have little harmony things like. Okay, so a little chromatic there. And the lower harmony on that one is. Okay, so 11, 12, 13, 14 to the 13. And then once you do that 13 again, you go 14, 12, 11, and then 12 to 13 over here. Okay, so. Okay, and then you could end it with like a. And on that D. All right, Peaches and Regalia, Frank Zappa. Hope you dug that. This will have tabs with it. We'll talk to y'all soon. So we're going to start out with. So that's an E chord to a type of an A chord. This A chord is going to be muting the big string and then 7, 7, 6, open, open. So it's like an A chord with a B in it, which is kind of like an A9. Okay, so we're going to have one beat each on these. We got. And then this finger picking thing starts. Okay, so what that is, and he's hybrid picking this, so he's got the pick in his hand over here, but he's going to use these two fingers to get the high strings. So it's 13 on the G, open E, and then 10th fret of the second string, and you get into a little pattern like. So we switch to the 11 there, so. And then we go to the 14 on the D string, and we keep those same two high notes each time, open and 10. So it's 13, 11, 14, 13, and then we come back up to the 13 on the G. So we do the same thing twice there. And then we follow that with a. Okay, so that's 9 to 11 hammer on the D. Back to the 9, and then we're back into the 1 strum each. Same riff again. Now the verse starts. The verse is going to be E to this A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 beats. It's 1 beat on the E, and then you have 6 beats that you hold on this type of A chord. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to E. We're going to go boom, boom. And that's 1 bar of 4 beats. So that feels pretty natural. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to do that all again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is going to be part 2 of the verse. We're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. So we only have 2 beats on the E that time. So the beginning was normal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, and then we're gonna go. Okay, so that chord is 7, 5, and 7, starting on the D string. We're gonna go down, 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 up, and then we're gonna go to the same chord over here, 5, 3, 5, and you can kind of slide it down there. So it's. and that's also a bum bum da 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 da. Then we have a 3 B string, 5 on the G, and then we're kind of doing 2 3s here on the G and the B, hammering into the 4 of the G, and you got that 5 right there. And this chord can kind of slide down. It holds for just a quick second, a beat or so. So this verse part 2 is going to go 2 3 4 5 6, then 2 beats. And then we resume. 2 3 4. Now this one's a little different. We're only going to do 4 beats on this one, and then we're going to do a 7/8 measure, which is like counting like 7 fast beats. So these are like slow beats. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that one we had 2 bars of the E there. So once again, that last part was 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Second bar of E there. And then we're back to another verse. 2 3 4 5 6. Do that again. 2 3 4 5 6. And then we're on that verse part 2 again. The difference there is like we got the 6 beats there and only 2 beats to this, and we add that little chord riff. So we're gonna have 2 3 4 5 6. 2 beats. And then this part is gonna end with 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so that was that 4 beats plus 7 fast ones. So once again, it was 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Now we have a new chord, C with a G bass, B minor. This is an A minor 9. It's open on the A, then 7 5 open open. So we got. Then we're into a bass solo. It's going to go back to B minor. We'll do this B minor over here. So this new part was C, G, B minor, A minor 9, and then the bass solo starts. 3 4. We got 4 bars on this B minor. And now we start type of verse 2. So this is going to go kind of like our intro riff, but a little different. So we got the 13, 11, 14, 13. Now this thing is going to end with an 11 on the D to the little string open, back to the 14 to the little string. So it's. And then we have a new part. Okay, so this stuff is getting tricky. So we got 7 to 9 hammer on to the 8 on the second string, back to the 7 on the G, and then we're gonna get into one of those 2-string picking things down here. So we got the 10 on the D there. So 7, 10, 9, and then we're gonna go 7 to the 8, and then 10 on the A string to that 8. So it ends with 7, 8, 10, 8. So it's. Okay, so let's go through this again. We got. And obviously check out the tab on this because this is pretty complicated stuff. Now we're going to make like an F shape here. We got 8 with 10s. We're going to go. So we have the 8 and then the second string and third string, and then we're going to go to the 7 for the bass. And when we do that, we're going to go to the G and D strings for those 10s. So we got higher 10s, lower 10s, and then we're going to go to the 10 down here in the bass. Still doing the G and D strings there on those 10s. And then 8 down here. And then 10 to 10 on the G. And then 8, 10 on the A and D strings there. So this new part is. Okay, so in kind of up to speed, we got. Okay, then we're gonna jump down to this B flat chord. We're gonna have big 6 here with an 8 and 7. We're gonna go. We're gonna hit the bass and then the G string to D string, the 6 to 7. Take the bass down to the 5. Back. So we got the 6, 5, 6. Get the pinky up there to get that 8. So we got. And then we're gonna go. So big 8 to 10, and then G string 10. Okay, so we got. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing on the 4 down here. Okay, and then we're gonna have F for quick 7 beats, a 7/8 measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're back. Got that F, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this one is weird. We're gonna hit the G here. It's gonna be like there's a measure of 5/8 and then 4/8. But you gotta think about the riff that happens. It's like bum ba da ba da ba da bum ba da ba da ba dum. Okay, so there's 2 hits on the G, but it's kind of where they're placed that's interesting. So then at that point we'd be back into the intro. We do that twice again, just like the intro did. And then we'd be into another set of verses here. We're gonna have the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the verses play out just the same as they did before. You're gonna end up finishing it with like a 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they get into that, it gets into that fast ragtime finger picking thing. And when we watched the show the other night, they bring out an acoustic guitar, and at this point, he's still got his electric on. He just reaches over on the acoustic and plays that whole finger picking thing until it's done, and then he pops back to his electric. It was pretty slick. Okay, then we have an interlude that's gonna be. So this is the same as like our verse part 2. Except it's gonna come down here. And it's not gonna go to that lower one. So it only goes to the lower one when he's singing a verse. Okay, so this whole thing would be like. And then it starts over again. So the 5th time is when he starts singing and he adds that extra part. Add that extra part here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're back. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then we're into the worm section. Okay, so it's like a C chord, but it's got the bass note on the big E string. And it's like got the pinky down here too. So it's 10, mute the A, and then 9, then open, then 8, then 10. We're gonna use that same shape down here with the bass note on the 6th fret and then the bass note on the 3rd fret. So the strum on that is like a down, 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 up, down, up. So down, 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 up on that first one. And this one we're gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down. So up, down, and then down, up, down, and we're gonna slide that last one down there. So it's like down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. So the last one is down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. So we went up to the octave on that one. So he does that like maybe once or twice. So.